So, hello and welcome to this edition of Let's Hear It from the Expert. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our industry expert today, a professional with over 2 decades of experience in the finance and telecom industry, Mr. Abhilash Chatterjee. So, on behalf of Christ Team to be University Lavasa, the hub of analytics, I, Arpita Ghosh, welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much, Arpita. It's indeed a pleasure, and thanks for giving me this opportunity as well. And I'll be more than happy to take your questions, and if you want to learn about my views on the industry and things like that, would be more than happy to contribute to the same. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Wow, that's really wonderful, sir. But before we really move on to our interaction, I think I would just introduce our industry expert in a better way by giving some more information. So, Mr. Abhilash Chatterjee is a seasoned techno commercial professional, and he has worked in various geographies, which include India, Africa, Middle East, and SAARC. So, he has experience as a vendor and user of technology and specializes in Fintech, digital banking, mobile payments, mobile financial services, microfinance, microbanking, wallets, alternate payment mechanisms for digital media. Wow, that's really quite a lot. So I think we really have a lot to share, Abhilash. Looking forward to that. Along with the domain knowledge, there are other skill sets that are required from every other, employable youth. Uh, would you like to throw some light on what are the other skill sets that we are looking at when it comes to the prospective candidates who require employability?
Well, I'll tell you the most basic requirement I've seen when I've been to campuses to recruit, or when I've done some hiring at my, in my organizations, is I've seen a lot of people lacking the interpersonal skills, soft skills. They might be real good data engineers, they might be very good techies or very good MBAs, or MBA finance, and they would have good domain knowledge, as you said. But when it comes to interacting within teams, intra-team and inter-team, working as a cohesive team, as I call it, I've seen a lot of lacuna which is there in their interpersonal skills, in their oratory skills many a times. A lot of times to communicate, they're not able to communicate, or they don't communicate, or they feel if I communicate there'll be a problem. So all these inhibitors, as I would call it. And also working across teams is very important, because because any project in a mid or a large or even a small organization today, even a startup, cannot survive unless until you are working as a team, because you can't be the only person. Otherwise you would have been the founder, owner, producer, director, as you call it, of the entire movie. Even when you're making a movie, you require so many people, and everybody has to work as a team. Similarly, in any organization, all hands have to work together. So if it's a finance team, it has to talk regularly to the marketing sales team, to the chairman's office. There are a lot of interactions, right? There are cross interactions, and then you have to convince. Sometimes you are on the convincing side, sometimes you are convincing others. So I feel sometimes there is a lacuna in the soft skill part of things, and interpersonal communication skills, which I observed. Even though you would have had the domain knowledge and you're an expert and you're the number one guy, as I would call it, but if you don't have this, or these skill sets of how to communicate in a team, how to drive things in a team, or many a times I've seen people who said, "Maine apna kaam kar diya, abhi aap dekhiye." That attitude. I've seen that. Sir, I have done my job. Now this guy is not moving. It's none of my responsibility. I've heard these statements, and I'm sorry, I'm quoting some. I know some of my juniors, if they see it, they'll not like it. But but what I'm trying to say, the buck stops. Yeah, the buck shouldn't stop with you. You should be going after them if it's not happening, because your KPI, KRA is also linked somewhere. If that project doesn't succeed, where will you be? So everybody needs to take that onus. I'm not just blaming that guy in that team, but I'm saying everybody has to start thinking that way, and that will happen when we inculcate such things right at the point of when they are graduating. And I thought I should bring this up.
No, I think it's very important, Abhilash. So from your inputs, I get it's like, we talk about the soft skills, interpersonal skills, team building, being a great team player,
very important
attitude, and to a certain extent, from the last couple of sentences that you made, it's also about having that sense of responsibility and accountability.
Excellently well put. All four together: team building, being a team player, being owning, which is accountability and ownership, and also the putting the red flag when required, escalating things, being the owner of and the driver of whatever task has been given to you. And communication plays a very important role, because I've seen a lot of people lacking that, and I've seen it happening over the past 20 years of my career, and I've still see some interns who come out. Some of them are very bright, they are over enthusiastic, but some of them, they say, I'm getting my internship, which is a small amount. Why should I bother? I've seen those attitude, as you put that
Yes.
word attitude. That attitude should always be there. Whatever task is given, it may be small, it may be big. Let's not link it to the value of amount being paid for it. Look at what you are going to learn out of it. If it's a success.
I know, because
so that kind of attitude should be there.
Yeah, because talking about this, most of the youngsters, sometimes I feel, for people like you and me, we are still from that school of thought where it's doing things for the sheer joy of doing. Whereas what I feel with some of our youngsters today, if they have to do something, it's more like, what's in it for me?
For me,
Yes.
So that attitude, I think it might be, it's changing with times, but I think that attitude should be there. Otherwise, the person will be left out. It's not he's the one who will lose out on things, not he or she will be the loser, not the organization, because the organization will move on, right? The organization doesn't stop for anyone. I mean, let's be very honest. It's an enterprise.
Totally agree on
the
that.
enterprise has to report, quarter on quarter their profit P&L. So I would end it there, saying that a good attitude, a good communication kind of a thing, and raising the red flag whenever required, keeping everybody informed, being a team player. If somebody is faltering somewhere, try to help him out rather than just putting that onus on him. So, all these small things, but, I think that attitude, if an intern or a fresher comes out with from the college itself, it helps him, build kind of move on faster in the organization ladder.
Absolutely. So, Abhilash, I think it's really been a great, interesting interaction that we've had. And we have covered up very nicely, what is it that is required from the students, who are still in the process of becoming graduates, what is expected of them, be it with respect to domain knowledge, be it with respect to their skill sets. Thanks for all those inputs. So once again, thank you very much. And we do hope to connect again on a different topic, because you have vast experience. And I'm sure if we get, a little bit topic specific, there can be a lot more interesting conversations that we can have.
Oh, Arpita.
Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, Arpita, thanks. It was indeed a pleasure. And please, I mean, I equally liked, talking to you, and the questions you put up were very relevant to the industry. And we at the industry are facing a crunch of new, young, bright minds, as you might be knowing, especially in the techno commercial world. And I think the new breed which will come out, the new students who will pass out will, if they inculcate some of these additional certificates, or, come up with certain, kind of mindsets with a positive attitude, and all, they'll be the ones who will be picked up faster and will be absorbed well, into the industry. Yeah. And I thank you for this session as well. It was indeed a pleasure.
Thank you so
much. Thanks. Take care. Yeah. Bye.